Solomon Islands, a sovereign state located in Oceania to the east of Papua New Guinea. The state includes 6 major islands and over 900 smaller islands. The capital, Honiara, is located on the island of Guadalcanal, which became a famous battleground between U.S. and Japanese soldiers in what is now known as the Solomon Island Campaign of 1942-1945. Nestled in the midst of vast oceans, these remote islands have long held a mysterious allure for many. Tales of a tribe of giants, said to be the offspring of Nephilim, still roaming in these islands, continue to spark curiosity and fascination among those who seek to unravel the enigma that surrounds these lands. The remote islands were left undiscovered to the rest of the world, inhabited only by indigenous people who had lived on the islands for thousands of years. In 1568, a Spanish explorer by the name Alvaro de Medina became the first European to discover the islands, navigating the oceans from Peru. After discovering the islands, Alvaro named them the Islands of Solomon, with the belief that he had found gold, not just any gold, but the place where the biblical King Solomon obtained the gold for his temple in Jerusalem. Rumors of such an important find reached explorers in other lands, and in 1595 and 1606, more Spanish expeditions set out to uncover the truth. The discoveries of gold reported by Medina were never verified back then, but in more recent times, companies have managed to mine a large amount of gold from the islands. There's thought to be a substantial amount of gold still buried throughout the land. The mining process for gold on the islands has been controversial, with allegations of exploitation and environmental damage. Some locals accuse mining companies of exploiting their land and resources for their gain, while others point out the irreparable damage caused by mining activities. However, the allure of the islands is not just about its gold. The native people who have inhabited the Solomon Islands for thousands of years have passed down traditions and oral stories of giants living in the land. Much like many other cultures from around the world, the people living on the island still believe that these giants exist today. The stories of the giants have many variations and interpretations. Some believe them to be benevolent creatures, while others consider them dangerous and malicious. Some legends even describe giant creatures that hunt people, lurking in the shadows and waiting to attack them. Marius Boy Rayon is a researcher and the research director of the Solomon Anthropological Expedition Trust Board Incorporated. He is one of the people involved in the investigation process regarding the true giants on the islands. Boy Rayon is based in Australia but lived and worked in the Solomon Islands as a helicopter pilot and engineer. He even married a Solomon native woman and became a citizen there. During his stay, he became familiar with the island's culture and traditions, including the stories about the giants. In 2010, Boy Rayon published the book, Solomon Island Mysteries, which contained stories from the local people, including his wife. In his research, he discovered that giants were living on the islands, and some were over 10 feet tall. He referred to these giants as Guadalcanal giants. They have long black, brown, or red hair, double eyebrows, red eyeballs, flat noses, and wide mouths. Marius writes that some of the giants were killing and stealing humans from their villages. He speaks of a huge rogue killer giant that attacked the indigenous people. Many warriors died trying to slay the giant before villages had to be moved to other parts of the islands to protect their people. The Solomon Island giants are said to have social structures, and there are possibly thousands of them that inhabit Guadalcanal to this day. They use complex cave systems to pass from one side of the island to the other without ever having to see daylight. Among the islanders, one of the most eerie stories related to the giants is the story of Mango. Many years ago, a girl named Mango was taken by the giants. After 25 years of being believed dead and never to be seen again, Mango reappears in an unrecognizable and shocking state. Mango is found to be pregnant and believed to have been taken as a wife by one of the giants. For over 2 decades, she gave birth to a half-breed boy who was killed by one of Mango's brothers at the age of 5. Mango herself remained in a severely unstable mental state until her death. According to the story, some of the men on the island are aware of the location where her son is buried. But the stories about these giants were not limited to locals. There are also reports that Japanese forces encountered these giants during the Solomon Islands campaign between 1942 and 1945. Japanese and U.S. forces engaged in heavy fighting on the islands, and Japanese soldiers reported seeing creatures around 10 to 15 feet tall, which would sometimes come charging at units of soldiers. The bullets had little effect on them, and soldiers had a hard time sleeping as they could hear their fellow comrades wailing through the night as the giants launched more attacks. The cannibalistic nature of the giants struck fear in the hearts of the Japanese infantry. Although there are skeptics who dismiss these accounts as myth and folklore, the sheer number of testimonies and eyewitness accounts from various sources gives reason to believe that there may be some truth to the legends of the giants of the Solomon Islands. However, concrete information about these mysterious creatures remains scarce, and the legends surrounding them are shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. The idea of giants has been present in many cultures throughout history, from the biblical account of the Nephilim to depictions in ancient architecture and cave writings. The legends about these creatures may be a remnant of the time when fallen angels coexisted with humans, leading to the birth of the Nephilim and the subsequent appearance of giants in various parts of the world. The sheer number of legends and stories about such beings across cultures suggests that there may be some truth to the idea of fallen angels and their influence on the world. The legend of Solomon Islands giants is only one piece of this larger puzzle. The relationship between giants and pyramids in different cultures is also an interesting topic. Many ancient societies around the world, such as those in Egypt, Iran, Iraq, China, Mexico, and Cambodia, built pyramids, suggesting that something was happening on Earth in those days. Even more intriguing, these cultures all have stories and depictions of giants. It is possible that these societies had contact with each other, and that the giants played an important role in the construction of these pyramids. Let us take, for example, the pyramids in Mexico. Missionaries in New Spain and New Hispanic historians chronicle stories, saying that in ancient times there were giants in the land now known as Mexico. They called them Kinametzin, a term used in Mesoamerican mythology for people of great height. The friars were looking for explanations for the large buildings dedicated to the indigenous gods. According to the Journal of Mexican Archaeology, the evangelists attributed the construction of the largest pyramids, such as that of Cholula, to the giants. The Bible gave the missionaries the idea that the creators of these great buildings could be beings like those described in biblical passages, Goliath, against whom David fights, or other stories where the triumph of a person is enhanced by overcoming individuals superior in size and strength. A story by Friar Andres de Olmos, famous for his work as a philologist of the indigenous groups, tells that in the palace of the first viceroy of New Spain, Antonio de Mendoza, bones of a human foot were found where each toe measured almost the palm of a hand, like the Bible story of Noah and the flood. The giants perished in the catastrophe of Adonijah, a great flood in the mountainous area of Tlaxcala. Another ancient megalithic structure believed to be built by giants is in Nan Madol, on the island of Pompeii. The walls there stand as high as 58 feet tall and measure as much as 17 feet thick. Columns and buildings, all made from stone weighing anywhere from 5 to 50 tons, are stacked in the manner in which one might construct a log cabin. Astonishingly, it has been estimated that over 750,000 tons of stone were used in the site's construction. The labor and effort needed to build these structures are so massive that it couldn't be done by ordinary humans. It was widely believed that this could have only been built by giants. This belief was supported by the discovery of Victor Berg, the appointed governor during German rule in the island. When he ventured into Nan Madol in 1907, he stumbled upon a sealed tomb believed to contain the remains of Pompeii's ancient rulers. To his surprise, he found skeletal remains that were significantly larger than any he had seen before, indicating the presence of a race of giants standing at 10 feet tall. This discovery led Berg to wonder about the identity of these giant rulers. However, a violent storm that hit the island on the night of his discovery, accompanied by the sound of conch shells and glowing orbs in the sky, left Berg dead the next day, leading the locals to believe that Nan Madol was guarded by supernatural forces.